I am getting bored of just slaughtering sheep in my roguelike game. I need some new victims that are able to fight back, but who would volunteer? These bandits are trying to mug me. Am I in London or something? The first bandit I made is a farmer. He is a basic swarm enemy designed to force players to move constantly, keeping them under pressure, while other more dangerous enemies take advantage of that. However, I didn't want to make just some boring guy that follows you, so I made him smart. I wanted the farmers to surround the player and attack you from all angles, so I have figured out a weird approach for their movement. They check from which direction they can attack and then pick directions so that they are as spread out as they can, with some extra randomness so it's a bit unpredictable. The code is like magic, it just works, don't question it. They use a scythe blade that they tie to a stick as a weapon and they just fucking swing it. I'm not fully happy with the attack's timing and there needs to be some indicator in the animation that warns the player, but it works. When you attack another bandit, a farmer throws his cycle at you to protect them, furthermore forcing players to focus on them. And because I want the enemies to feel more human, I made them speak. Sometimes. I am still deciding how much colorful should I be with the language, because even at this point this game is already far beyond kids friendly, so I can go crazy. When you kill all of his friends, he gets angry and his adrenaline ability triggers. Every enemy has an adrenaline ability during which they become immune to being knocked back or stunned, so you can't interrupt their attacks and they do something powerful, but it only has one use. The farmer points at you, says you're a bitch, and charges you. The second bandit I made is a poacher. Why a poacher? Well, I want to keep the starting gang of bandits on the low social ladder, so farmers, poachers, maybe miners, etc. And as the game gets harder, you will encounter organizations of bandit knights or maybe even higher on the social hierarchy, which is going to be really cool, I'm excited for that. The poacher is designed to keep his distance away from players while he tries to turn them into a hedgehog, but once again I wanted to do something more interesting, so I made him use farmers as meat shields and hide behind them. The coward also uses hunting traps to either hurt you or use them as cover. I must say both bandits have these weird movement patterns, but they still feel natural and they are definitely better as if they just... The poacher uses a bow to attack, which consists of build up, hold and shoot animation. I made the hold duration random, so each time the timing is a bit different, but I am not sure if it's a good idea. I would love to hear opinions on that. When you kill another bandit, Poacher's adrenaline ability kicks in, causing him to spam arrows in your direction. I really like how these bandits turned out both visually and gameplay wise, especially so because when I started sketching out the farmer, he looked like shit. Did this farmer already harvest his field? Because he sure is. Well, he's not the only one. The player himself has been training with a sword because he was outright awful before. Like, what? Yeah, I suck at animating attacks, but I did my study and here is what I learned. Each attack consists of 5 parts: build up, attack, hold, follow through and recovery. Now for the mind-opening discovery. To make the attacks transition more smoothly and also make them feel better, I made it so you can skip the recovery part and go straight into another attack. This small change made everything click together and attacks got a lot more satisfying. And they are also supposed to be brutal, so I really focus on improving the blood effects and corpses that are left behind dead enemies. There are so many ways you can make blood work, so I experimented a bit with some interesting effects. I kinda like this over-the-top blood splash. In the future I will definitely find a use for it, but I settled for this less cool approach. Combination of blood mist, splash and burst. I can't go too crazy, cause it would be confusing if half of the screen would be just red. Breaking news! The local forests have been polluted by careless people leaving their corpses on the ground. They don't even care to decompose, and are making it difficult to recognize the living from the dead. In the last devlog, when an enemy died, he played his dead animation and just laid there. The problem was that so many corpses made it hard to separate the enemies from the dead, so I made them destroyable. Yeah, maybe I have gone too far. Maybe. Now that the game's difficulty has risen from fighting sheep to bandits, the player now needs new mechanics that expand their combat abilities. You can now deflect projectiles back at enemies, but it's kind of difficult. One thing is getting the timing right and hitting the projectile, but your attack's direction also changes the projectile's direction. I really like how this requires a bit more skill, but on the other hand, aiming with controllers is painful. That is everything new. In the next devlog I will be again improving the combat with some pretty cool mechanics, so subscribe. Bye bye.